we have to show that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. First, let's look to our diagram. We have given that angle E and angle B are congruent because we have this red arc on both angles. So we have angle E is congruent to angle B. What else we have? We have that AB is congruent to BC and is congruent to EF and ED. So we can write that AB segment is congruent to DE, and we have that BC is congruent to EF. So we have two segments and angles between these two segments are congruent. It means that by side, angle side congruence postulate, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Why? Because two sides and angles between these two sides are congruent. So we can use side angle side congruence postulate, and we have that these two triangles are congruent. Because these two triangles are congruent, it means that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So we can write that segment AC is congruent to DF. So from this postulate we have that AC is congruent to DF. We have given also that these two segments are parallel because we have these arrows, red arrows. Let me extend these two segments, and we will put that this is line L and K. We have given that L is parallel to K. Why? Because DF is parallel to AC segment. So because these two lines are parallel, and let's put that AD, if we extend AD, we will have transversal. These two parallel lines are cut by this transversal. It means that alternate interior angles are congruent. So we can write that this angle is congruent to that angle. Let's put two arcs. So we can write by alternate interior angles theorem we have that, let's put that this is angle 3 and 4. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. What else? We can now extend FC, and we have another transversal which cut two parallel lines. It means that alternate interior angles are congruent. So we can write here that this is angle 5 and 6. So again, by alternate interior angles, theorem, angle 5 is congruent to angle 6. So now we have two angles which are congruent, and what else? We have that AC is congruent to ADF, or FD we can say. So it means that, let me shade this triangle is congruent to this angle, side angle, congruence postulate, triangle. Let's put that we have here point G, triangle ACG is congruent to triangle DFG. So we have that these two triangles are congruent. It means that corresponding parts are congruent. So we have that CG is congruent to FG and GA is congruent to GD. So now what else we have? These two angles are vertical angles, so they are congruent. This and that angle are congruent angles. So we can write now, we have that these two sides, we have that these sides are congruent, and vertical angles CGD is congruent to FGA angle, CGD is congruent to FGA because they are vertical angles. Because vertical angles are congruent. So we have again two sides and angle between these two sides, and on the other side we have two sides which are congruent and angles between these two sides are congruent. So we can use again side angle, side congruence postulate. And we have that triangle CGD is congruent to triangle FGA. It means that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So we have that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. This is my solution. Because these two triangles are congruent, it means that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent too.